lot of times when we get newfound success, especially when it is sudden, it is overwhelming. It's overwhelming to, be modeling for a decade and still be able to get booked internationally, right? Without needing an agency. It's overwhelming when you get a check in the mail when you're leaving and a check in the mail while you're out of town and a check in the mail when you get back. Sometimes it's overwhelming to actually be teaching other models how to become successful and them telling you that they booked not one, not two, but 3 jobs in a row. More jobs than they ever have in their entire career in only a few weeks. It can be overwhelming. Okay? And even if it's not the same overwhelming I'm experiencing, it can be overwhelming when you get that promotion. It can be overwhelming when you finally visit that country. It can be overwhelming when you have your first child. It can be overwhelming. You have to take a breath.
5 shows made 3 million a week. You are now looking at the best, the elite. You are now looking at the best, the elite. You are now looking at the best.
Let's talk handling your success as your best self in 3 steps. Hello. My name is Lola Shell. I'm an internationally working professional model, and this is my channel where I focus on helping you become your best self. But the best are never the best by themselves. So you know what we gotta do? We gotta like this, we gotta save this, and we gotta share this video with somebody that you want the best for. Now, grab that water and let's get to it. The first thing we're gonna do to handle our success as our best selves in 3 steps is to take a breath, okay? Understand that this is new, but you've done new things before and you turned out fine. A lot of times when we get newfound success, especially when it is sudden, it is overwhelming. It's overwhelming to, be modeling for a decade and still be able to get booked internationally, right? Without needing an agency. It's overwhelming when you get a check in the mail when you're leaving and a check in the mail while you're out of town and a check in the mail when you get back. Sometimes it's overwhelming to actually be teaching other models how to become successful and them telling you that they booked not one, not two, but 3 jobs in a row. More jobs than they ever have in their entire career in only a few weeks. It can be overwhelming. Okay? And even if it's not the same overwhelming I'm experiencing, it can be overwhelming when you get that promotion. It can be overwhelming when you finally visit that country. It can be overwhelming when you have your first child. It can be overwhelming. You have to take a breath. Because if you don't take a breath and you don't make space for what's actually happening, it'll just keep being overwhelming, okay? Any new thing is gonna just add to the overwhelm. So the first step is to take a breath, okay? You have got this. You have survived 100% of your hardest days. Reason being that I know that is because you're still here watching me, okay? You have survived so much. This will be no different. I'm not saying it's gonna be easy, but I'm saying it can be done, all right? Take a breath. Let's go on to that next step. Now that we've done with step number 1, let's move on to step number 2 when it comes to handling your success as your best self, okay? It's only 3 steps, so we're already halfway through. The next thing you wanna do is take a beat. If it feels overwhelming, continue to do what you were doing before the success came. What do I mean by that? Walk with me. Before I booked this international job on my own that's paying me 4 figures, helping me out with travel, the whole 9 yards, right? Before I did this job, I was applying to thousands of dollars of work a day, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of modeling work on a weekly to monthly basis. See what I'm saying? I was doing my callbacks. I was sending in the self-tapes. I was updating my portfolio. I was making sure I was posting on social media so clients could understand what I did well and why they should work with me. Do you understand what I'm saying? I was networking online and offline. I was making sure my digitals were updated. I was getting back to my agencies. I was making new connections. I was doing all of these things before I got the job. Now that I have the job, even though it's an amazing opportunity, I'm not just gonna start spinning out and like, oh, well, now I need to, instead of applying to like thousands of dollars, I need to apply to $100,000 worth of work every single day. I need to make sure I'm posting 5 times a day. I need to make sure I'm like DMing every person I've ever met in my life. No. Okay? I just kept doing the same things I was doing before I got this job. Okay? I need you guys to really sit in that. A lot of times we think, oh, when we get this new promotion, we gotta like 10x what we were doing, to get a bigger promotion or to get the next thing that we're aiming for. A lot of times, especially as creatives, when you finally do get a job that pays you what you're worth, that takes you to places that you always wanted to be in, or takes you places that you've always wanted to be. Grammar, okay? We get to a space where it's just like, well, if it took me, I don't know, 3 months to land that job. I need to like work twice as hard to get it in 15 days, you know? I need to, you know, or it's gonna take me 6 months to get an even bigger job. You see what I'm saying? A lot of times we think that, oh, you know, I just have to keep doing so much more if I wanna get any more than I've already got. And that is where we start to get extremely burnt out, okay? When we could instead just take a beat and keep up the same things that we've been doing. So when you get that new job, you don't have to like, you know, become, you know, an email warrior, you know, all of a sudden. If before you got the promotion, you know, you were on your email, but you know, mostly during company time. Now that you got the promotion, that does not mean that you need to email everybody from the time that you get into the office to the time that you leave. That does not mean that you need to like check in your email on the weekends. Like, it does not mean that you don't have to go overboard. You can just keep being who you were when you got to this point. You will naturally advance your skills and do better work in time. You don't need to white knuckle it, you know, when success comes. That's the easiest way to get burnt out. This is not to be confused with doing nothing. This is not to be confused with, you know, letting go of the momentum. This just means that as the success is happening, give yourself some time to get acclimated to it instead of immediately just spinning out and doubling your output and just burning yourself to the ground, okay? Now on that one, I would say you don't have to take my word for it. You should try it for yourself, but I don't want you to have to try that. I just want you to understand there's a better way. Keep doing what you've already been doing, and you will slowly but surely advance your skills, advance your output, and advance your results in time. The last thing I want you to do when it comes to handling your success as your best self in 3 steps. So after you've taken a breath, okay? After you have taken a beat, all right? The last thing that I want you to do, and I want you to listen close, okay, is I really need you guys. I'm so sorry. I'm on like a ground floor, so I thought there's somebody like, so there's somebody on this level. Oh my gosh, that freaked me out. Okay, sorry. I need you to take the bold next step, okay? I need you to create a plan and manage this success. Whether this is a routine that you start, whether this is setting up accounts that are difficult to access so you don't burn through your money with a newfound success, whether it's saying no to any request that will derail you for the next 90 days, you really need to make sure you have a plan in place, okay? Because what happens is when you get a little bit of success, okay, and anybody who's had any success in their life, even if it's not like major billboards, but it's like, you know, you got that new job or you went to that new country, a lot of people will pop out of the woodworks with their hand out. Oh, can I hold something? Oh, well, since you big money now, since you're doing all this now, can you do this for me? Sometimes you need to put in place boundaries so that you're not giving, and then having less after the success than you had before the success happened. Okay, it's this funny thing inside of my community. I'm African American, but there's something that's widely known as black tax. When you are one of like the more affluent people in your family, you might be the first people to come into stable money, a good amount of income. A lot of people who are close to you and some people who are strange from you will always come around asking for things because they just feel like you have it to give. And there's a lot of people who that is not only just an added stress of the success, but it oftentimes has them spending more money than they actually ended up making more of. So if somebody went from making $50,000 a year to $100,000 a year, but everybody in their family is asking for something, they might take home $30,000 a year instead of, you know, gross with taxes, or net with taxes, 80,000, you know, because they're just giving. Somebody, oh, could you help me pay off this car? Oh, could you help me put something down to my loans? Oh, my house is getting fumigated. Could you pay for me to be in a hotel? Oh, let's go on a trip. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times if you don't put parameters and boundaries inside of your success, you will find yourself worse off after success than you were before it. So instead of letting that overwhelm build, instead of letting, you know, you be guilt tripped into giving, set a parameter. You can still help people within a certain space. So instead of maybe, you know, spending every single day after work helping, you know, family members fix things at their houses, maybe say, hey, on the weekends, I have 4 hours, I can help anybody during that time. You're still helping, but within a time frame that works for you. Instead of, you know, sponsoring every single, you know, dinner outing, you might say, hey, We can go out to dinner once a month and it's all on me. But anything else outside of that, you can say no to. Do you understand what I'm saying? You could also just say, hey, I got this new promotion, so I'm actually not available as much for the next probationary period of 30 days. So I love that you guys want to support. I love that you guys want to hang out and do all these things, but I just need a little time to get acclimated to my job, and then we can plan everything in the future. Do you understand what I'm saying? Once you have a plan and you can put together some boundaries, it's going to make handling success that much easier. Instead of being overwhelmed physically, overwhelmed externally, overwhelmed emotionally, it allows you the space to, again, get acclimated to success without letting the success ruin you. All right? Now that one, you don't have to take my word for it. You can try it for yourself. All right, besties, that's everything for handling your success as your best self in 3 steps. Remember, take a breath. All right? This might be new, but you've done new things before. Turned out fine. 2, take a beat. Okay? If it feels like everything is too much, just continue to do what you've already been doing to get to that point. All right? Don't overextend yourself. All right, and the last thing is take a bold next step by creating some secure boundaries. All right? Whatever you need to do to make sure that external factors don't cause internal turmoil, do that. All right? And that's everything for this little chat, okay? If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this. And with that, I'll see you on the next one.